The man was trapped in a strange chamber, having to turn the millstone 720 times every day. Even when he was exhausted, he didn't dare slack off for a moment, because failing to complete the task could cost him his life. In this harsh environment, he was only given a bottle of water and a sandwich each day, and even eating, drinking, and relieving himself had to be done inside. Despite such severe conditions, the man persisted for 2 whole years. The story begins one morning. William woke up to find himself in a bizarre chamber. He instinctively checked his pockets, only to discover that his phone had been confiscated. William repeatedly pounded on the steel door, calling for someone to let him out, but no response came after a long time. He couldn't understand why he had ended up here. He had just been there to interview for a senior executive position. How had he inexplicably ended up in this place? As he shouted, a man's voice came from the neighboring room, telling him to be quiet. William immediately rushed toward the vent following the sound. The neighbor said that they were all people coming for the interview, but to obtain the job, they had to undergo an experiment. The next few days would be the most grueling, so he should prepare himself mentally. William wanted to ask more, but the neighbor said he still had work to do and didn't respond further. Seeing this, William tried to climb the walls to escape. However, the 3 walls had no footholds or handles. He tried for a long time without success. As he pondered how to get out, a whistle sounded from the steel door, and someone threw in food and water. William quickly reached out and begged, "Brother, can you let me out? I don't want this position anymore. My wife is pregnant, and I need to go home to take care of them." To his surprise, the person not only didn't respond, but forcefully jabbed his arm. And this wasn't the scariest part. As he prepared to eat, a piercing alarm sounded, followed by screams and wails echoing all around. Terrified, he curled up in a corner, not knowing what the nearby people had done wrong to deserve such cruel punishment. William endured the entire night amid the terrifying sounds. The next morning, he followed the guard's instructions to throw the garbage into the chute. He accidentally noticed some hairs on the ground. Upon moving them aside, he discovered a skull, which frightened him half to death. He rushed to ask the neighbor what was going on. The neighbor calmly told him that it belonged to the person who had been there before. William was stunned. He thought, this is supposed to be a legitimate company. How could they do such things? However, the neighbor said, "Did you forget the document you signed when you first arrived? It stated that you cannot disclose details or other requirements." William realized that they had all been deceived because they hadn't read it carefully before signing.